from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Facebook officially open for business in Henrico County, and Kroger Mid-Atlantic is soon to follow. We'll have details about those stories and more on a very busy news day coming up on this episode of the Henrico News Minute for Wednesday, August 5th, 2020. It's brought to you today by the Steve Dowdy Insurance Agency with State Farm.
And now for the news.
Well, it's a big day in Henrico County as social media giant Facebook today officially opens and brings online its $1.75 billion data center in eastern Henrico. The massive 2.5 million square foot facility sits on 328 acres in the White Oak Technology Park in Sandston. It's adjacent to arguably the most desirable data cable connection in North America, the Maria subsea cable, which lands at the QTS data center in the White Oak Park, and which Facebook helped fund along with Microsoft and a Spanish telecom company. Facebook employs more than 200 people at the site, most of them in high-paying jobs. Today's opening concludes a 6-year process and the culmination of a number of factors that resulted in Facebook's arrival in the county. Virginia economic development officials began wooing the firm in 2014 when Facebook was seeking a location for a new U.S. data center. Henrico officials got involved in late 2016, and in March of 2017, the county's Board of Supervisors slashed its data center tax from $3.50 to 40 cents per $100 of assessed value, making it the lowest such tax rate in the state. Coupled with several other factors that helped convince Facebook to purchase the property from the county for just about $11 million in September of 2017, and then announced formally their plans October 5th of that year to build a data center at the site. As part of the build-up to its opening, Facebook has contributed in a number of ways to the Henrico community. The company donated a total of $830,000 to Henrico schools, small businesses, and nonprofits, including funding the purchase of $160,000 worth of grab-and-go meals that the school system has been supplying to students since school closed in mid-March, and $120,000 worth of funding for the purchase of 625 Wi-Fi hotspots and associated connectivity for 1 full year to assist students who don't have internet in their homes. You can read much more about today's announcement at henricocitizen.com by clicking business. Kroger is moving its Mid-Atlantic Division headquarters from Roanoke to Henrico County. Company officials announced yesterday the company's new site will be at 140 East Shore Drive. That's just off Knuckles Road in Glen Allen. It actually sits in the shadows of a Publix supermarket and a Food Lion, somewhat ironically. The move will take place by the end of the year, and Kroger intends to begin full operations there at the beginning of next year. The move will establish division operations in a location that is better equipped and positioned to serve and support all the markets throughout the territory of Kroger Mid-Atlantic. The division oversees 110 stores and about 18,000 employees in Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Ohio. The headquarters operation has about 100 employees, and many will be coming to the region, but others will have other options to consider. The company's warehouse operations, logistics, and its Roanoke District leadership team will remain in that region. Henrico's Board of Supervisors plans to hold a public meeting August 24th at 5 p.m. to discuss in detail the possibility of establishing a civilian review board for the county's Division of Police. A location for the meeting has not yet been finalized, according to Varina District Supervisor Tyrone Nelson, who made the announcement during his Sandston community meeting on Monday. The county solicited input from citizens about the potential creation of a board during the month of July. As of several days before its July 28th meeting, the board had received about 300 comments about the idea, but in the final week or so of the month, it received more than double that number and now has a total of about 700 comments, Nelson told attendees of his Monday meeting. Yesterday, Virginia joined with 5 other states to negotiate the planned purchase of 500,000 rapid COVID-19 antigen tests apiece from 2 U.S. manufacturers of FDA-approved rapid tests. The other states are Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, and Ohio. Additional states, cities, and local governments may join the compact in the coming weeks. The governors of the 6 states signed an agreement with the Rockefeller Foundation, which is a science-driven philanthropic organization that collaborates with a variety of partners. It's the first announcement of its kind among governors during the pandemic, and they are hoping to demonstrate to private manufacturers that there is a significant demand to scale up the production of rapid tests. In a statement last month, Rockefeller Foundation officials called for a total of 30 million weekly COVID tests nationwide within the next 3 months. They suggested a breakdown of 5 million diagnostic tests for people with symptoms and 25 million screening tests for those who are asymptomatic. Lacking that degree of widespread testing, they said it would be difficult to contain the pandemic and return the country to economic stability. The county's 7-day positivity percentage of COVID-19 cases decreased to 6% as of July 31st. That's the most recent day available on record, according to the Virginia Department of Health. The last time the county's positivity percentage was less than 6% was more than 2 weeks ago on July 19th. 36 new confirmed cases of the virus were reported yesterday in the county, increasing Henrico's total number to nearly 3,700 among nearly 60,000 testing encounters. 4 new hospitalizations were attributed to the virus in Henrico yesterday, but no new deaths. As a reminder, you can always visit henricocitizen.com to read more details about all of the news items that we discuss on the Henrico News Minute. We are now a fully digital daily website. We also have a daily email, and we post regularly each day on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so check us out on each of those locations if you haven't already. And we invite your support. If you like what we're doing and find value in it, we invite you to contribute to our local journalism. You can visit henricocitizen.com/contribute and set up a monthly payment option, or just make a one-time contribution. We sure do appreciate it. The Henrico Christmas Mother organization has named longtime volunteer Jean Hayes of the Tuckahoe District as its 2020 Henrico Christmas Mother. Hayes has volunteered with the organization since 2012 and served on the Toy Committee since 2013. She's a registered nurse who worked for 23 years as a school nurse with Henrico County Public Schools. The Christmas Mother program is a nonprofit that provides food, new clothing, books, and toys to qualifying Henrico families, disabled adults, and seniors during the holiday season. For details or to volunteer or make a donation, visit henricochristmasmother.org. A Henrico County Public Schools panel Tuesday night that included Delegate Lamont Bagby and School Board Member Alicia Atkins of the Varina District offered a range of potential ways to support students and work toward resource equity in the county. The virtual panel, titled Community Conversations, It Takes a Village, was part of the HCPS Family Learning Series. Bagby, who represented the Fairfield District on the Henrico School Board before his election to the House of Delegates, said that Henrico County is the model for white flight and redlining, and those effects are still visible today. Schools have taken the blame for a lack of resources, he said, but added, quote, "It's never been about really the school facilities. It's been about the resources and the poverty and the saturation thereof," end quote. Atkins compared Eastern Henrico to a classic car and the West End to a new model that gets more attention. She said that sharing the vast history of the Varina District would be one way to help attract attention to it. Panelists had varying answers to an audience question about what West End parents could do to advocate for inclusion and diversity. One suggested that West End communities should push for affordable housing in their neighborhoods. Another said that parents need to embrace difference so that their children will welcome people from diverse cultures. And another suggested an exchange program between West End and East End students to help remove fear, doubt, and false narratives on both sides. You can read much more of our coverage from last night's virtual forum at henricocitizen.com by clicking on Education. Members of the Henrico School Board will hold a series of 3 virtual meetings with students to discuss a variety of topics this month. The first 2 meetings take place tomorrow, and a third will be held August 31st. All Henrico students are invited to attend each one. Students can ask questions at the virtual meeting or submit them ahead of time using an online form available at henricoschools.us/family-learning-series. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., Marcy Shea of the Tuckahoe District and Mickey Ogburn of the Three Chop District will host their joint meeting. Then later in the day at 2, Roscoe Cooper of Fairfield and Christy Kinsella of Brooklyn will host one. On August 31st at 10 a.m., Varina's Alicia Atkins will host her meeting. No registration is required. You can join the meetings by visiting that same website. They'll also be recorded and posted online for additional viewing. If you have questions, call 652-3787. Henrico police yesterday identified the victim of a fatal shooting that occurred July 30th on Byron Street in eastern Henrico. Tyrone Onterell Jones Jr., who was age 37, died in the shooting, which took place at about 11 p.m. that day. He was pronounced dead on the scene by police officers who responded to reports of gunfire. Police detectives later arrested 27-year-old Danquale Ballou of Henrico and charged him with second-degree murder and the use of a firearm in the commission of a felony in connection with the shooting. Police have said they are not seeking any additional suspects. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by the Steve Dowdy Insurance Agency with State Farm. You can save up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save. Contact Steve Dowdy today at 788-9022 to learn more.